Of course, now this one.
What is that? That's the cardboard?
This is cardboard newspaper for bottom bedding.
Okay.
And as you can see, because this is the second batch, it's a little hard to get the newspaper bits. So we add that. I'm going to then add my grass clippings. Already they're beginning to compost, so that's good. I got far more grass clippings than I need, but a nice layer. I'm going to lay that down. I'm using cracked corn and surprisingly a little bit of cat food that we had left over and stale.
So that's been soaked in water?
It's been soaked in water for at least 12 hours, actually longer than that. But
so you can basically use all kinds of stuff from your kitchen or your bird seed or stale crackers.
Right. Earthworms are master shredders. They will shred anything they get their hands on that's organic. You don't want to put meat products. You don't want to put meat products in it. You don't want to put dairy products in it. You don't want to put oils in it. But beyond that, everything's pretty good.
So this is why it would be good to have restaurant waste.
That's beautiful right there.
Ooh, wormies. Look at them.
Yeah, this is my breeding tank. I'm expanding because this has gotten out to be too. The warm weather, I was hoping to be able to knock some out because I had promised someone a couple of pounds of worms. But this is, the warm weather changed that. These are really looking healthy.
They look a lot bigger than when you first got them. How long ago was that?
This is about a month ago.
Really? I thought it was less than that.
A little bit. There's a nice clump. Right, and I was hoping to be able to get off a couple of pounds, but I'm not going to. So I'm laying these out. Now I'm just basically transferring them over because this is not fully digested material. Pretty close. And these are going to be my next bins. And when the next time it is, as you can see, there's sticks in there, there's roots in there.
So it's kind of like their natural, what would be their natural habitat?
Right.
Like underground. Yeah.
And so I'm going to lay that out. I want to keep it loose because I don't want to suffocate the poor guys.
Okay, that's good to know. That's why you drilled all those holes in the container as well.
Aeration is really important.
And drainage, right?
And drainage. Worms will drown. Alright, that's the last of my feed. And it's got a little extra water, I'm hoping.
It's gonna pour right out on my feet. Okay.
And that's the last of it. And then I'm putting this with about 8 or 9 pounds of food. And each one of these should be, these worms I think represent about, this will drain out.
So this is really heavy. It's wet and heavy, right?
Right. And moisture is really essential. One of the most essential tools to this.
So you have to be careful not to make your bins too big if you have to move them around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise you're.
Well, these are 18 gallon. When I get up to full speed, I'm hoping that I get into something a little bit heavier. But too much heavier than this, and I think I'm going to have problems with staff being able to move them. But when I get into the big operations, these won't be moved. I'll use something called continuous flow, where the materials will go in the top. But this is like beginner's home composting.
Right. This is the basic idea, but it can be expanded out into a larger operation. You're actually talking about doing some stuff in the ground with like concrete sides and so forth.
That's correct. The one I'm going to do at Griffin's Nest will be in ground. It'll start out as ground, but actually everything I'm going to eventually do is going to be above ground in the sense of
you can get at it, right?
Get at it.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much that. Alrighty, I'm going to add my last of my food. This has gone stale, so this was my stale, my favorite
shredded
cereal.
wheat.
Shredded wheat. Normally I would moisten this, but there's so much moisture in here I'm not worried about it.
Right.
So I just crush it up. And this is because it was stale. This is, like I said, one of my favorite cereals. And so there's that. Huh.
What you looking for?
The coffee grounds. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
And this is the one thing that everybody always talks about, coffee grounds and eggshells. So this is coffee grounds. So that's right there. And there we go. And I'll add more food to this as we go along. Right now this is pretty good. I should be able to close this up for 2 weeks. Just add a little more grass on the top. Now one thing about adding too much grass or any sort of really material that's composting is the biggest danger is that it will, and you can even use an old t-shirt for this. I'm going to use an old t-shirt.
You use burlap for the other one.
I use
right?
burlap for the other one. I use this is an old cotton t-shirt, 100% cotton.
So it breathes.
So it breathes. And voila.
So what's the danger? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
One of the biggest dangers you've got with composting materials, such as grass or any sort of fresh green material, is heat when it starts to compost. It can get really hot.
Overheating.
Overheating them. You want to keep these bins at about 70 degrees. I'll put these on bricks. And voila, I have 2 brand new bins. I have 2 brand new bins where I had just one growing. In about 3 to 4 weeks, I'll check these, and I will start to pull and separate the materials.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that to us.
Well, thank you, and I hope you support Paganics.